We weren't recording.
Nice.
No.
Let's start it from right here. Hello, chat. Hello, listeners. This is the beginning of the Off the Rip podcast. A little chaotic, nonetheless. But yes, Ross had court today, and it was due to a speeding ticket. And the speeding ticket came from the time I think maybe 2 weeks ago, I was dropping my son off at school, and going home, I had to get onto the highway. But in the express lane, you enter the highway from the fast lane. So with that in mind, I'm already conscious of cars always flying up and down this road. So I kind of see these two cars coming up like on my rear. So I'm in my GT3 RS, and I tap the gas for a little bit, and I get around the traffic, and 20 seconds later, bro, there's cop lights in my rear view. It was a blue Mustang of all things. Can't believe I got put over by Mustang, but I got put over, and he was like,
"Wait! Why can't you be? Why can't you?"
I don't like American cars. I don't really like Dodge Chargers, Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes. None of it. When I see them, I get disgusted. That's the story for another time. But yeah, bro, I got a freaking. He pulls me over. And I'm in the express lane, and there's really no medium to pull over on. So it's like this tiny strip of that little bumpy road that you kind of have to encounter. Anyway, I pull over, and I'm nervous because I knew I was going fast. And there's this new law in Florida that if you're going over 100, that's automatic jail time. No way around it. So I'm nervous. He comes up to the window, license, registration, all that. He comes back and says, "I clocked you going 99 in a 60.
He was being nice.
Yeah, he was being nice. But nonetheless, he was like, "You were still doing 30 over the speed limit." So that's automatic court. So yeah, today I went to court, and it was my first time ever being
really
anything, bro. Never had to go to court a day in my life. And so I was a little more sounds stupid, but more curious and anxious and excited, not so much nervous. I knew I wasn't going to go to jail today. I'm not, I wasn't anything like that, but I was very curious as to what the process was going to be like. Honestly, my first thoughts of walking into the fucking the courthouse and downtown or whatever, it just took me back to when we used to play GTA RP, and you're seeing just cops walk around in their gear, and you're seeing just random people walk around. It's just very eerie feelings, bro. It was just super funny. But so it was cool, bro.
What did they end up doing? So did you talk to the judge, actually? Did you talk to a judge?
So I had to go to the courthouse. So I was in there with maybe 10, 15 other people, and it was all traffic court. So not even traffic court, because there was a couple other cases in there. But yeah, we're all sitting in just the courthouse, and they're just one by one had to go up. I was in the middle. I was the speedster of the group. There was me and this other guy. He called the other guy a super speedster, which was he should have went to jail, but he got a ticket the day before they changed that law, and he was going 40 over. He was going 100. Nah, he was going like 90 and a fucking 45. And the cop that gave him the ticket didn't give him the ticket saying he was supposed to do jail time. And so there was this whole thing, and they were going, and he held everybody up for maybe 20 minutes. But at the end of it, they dropped the case entirely, and the guy got off scot-free. So I'm pissed. I got sentenced to a fucking what did I get? I have to do 4 hours of
community service.
Not community service, but this is the driving. I gotta take a driver's course. I think it's online, but it's 4 hours. I have to complete it by a certain time, and I got a $350 fine.
So they could probably cut your fine down a little bit, I'm guessing, because you went to court.
No, it was 354 automatic.
It's funny because the only time I've been to traffic court was in high school. I was late to the Les Schwab at Liberty, and it was me and one of our buddies, Antoine, was riding with me, and I'm flying out to Liberty High School.
And you got pulled?
Bro, it was busy, and there was 4 lanes of traffic that were full, and I was flying up the fast lane.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he clocked me. I guess they had some type of laser thing that was shooting just through all traffic, and you could just get every single car.
Yeah.
And I get dinged, and this is high school, and I didn't have my insurance on me. So it was like it was a huge ticket, but I was like, I have insurance, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I had to end up going to court. And this is like, I'm young.
You're a kid.
I go into court and I'm like super nervous. Same thing. I'm like, I've never done this. I don't know. And I'm obviously this is 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And I'm like,
dude,
I'm like, my parents, your parents can't help you. You can't do anything.
No,
so I'm just like,
you're in there by yourself.
All right, greet them, say ma'am, say sir, your honor.
Like that's gonna give you good graces or something.
I remember, I think my parents were like, just say, your honor. Always end everything with your honor, and that's
your honor.
So I get there, and I literally dressed up. I tried to wear something nice. I just was so nervous, and then I get in there, and literally the lady before me didn't speak English, was like hammered and was driving like 50 in a school zone, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm like,
I'm fine. I'm good.
Over, like, and I didn't have my register, my
I did. There's no way I thought I was going to jail.
I know, and I didn't think anything bad, but I was just so nervous. And then it's just like I hear this lady doesn't even know. She's like, "What? I wasn't speeding." Like, couldn't even speak English, but then was just like, "Oh, you were drunk driving through a school zone. Is 25 going 60."
That's insane.
That's just not.
You're like, I think I'm gonna make it today.
Yeah, I'll be all right. All right. But it's funny you bring that up. Did you see the Zach Eady video of him going 101?
Wait, that was a while back though, right? I was like maybe
that was, let me see. I have it in July. So it's like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And the video came out.
I did hear about that.
It's just funny because he's just so big.
What car was he driving?
I don't know, but he got pulled over going he was going 101 in a 55. And he was just
he's on the highway.
Well, the cop, there's a video of it. Yeah, there's a cop. The cop comes up and is just like, "Hey, like you're speeding, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, I was just passing another car."
At 100 miles. Yeah, lock him up.
And it's funny because he's just such a massive human being. So he's just like in the car, just like.
That's what I'm saying. What car was he in? Was he in a 2-seater and you just see this giant unfold out of this car, or was he in a Suburban doing a Ford Excursion doing 101?
Yeah, and he was hit with a reckless driving citation and a misdemeanor charge, but they dropped it. Same thing. Went to court.
Yeah,
and it looks like he's like in an SUV. Yeah, he's like in some type of range, but
a Range Rover. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, unreal.
Scary business. Wear your seatbelts, kids. Don't break the law.
I know we've talked about it before, but dude, the gambling thing, I don't know if you saw this, the gambling with the college kids. Do you see this?
Oh yeah, you did send me that. Yeah.
13 college basketball players from 6 schools are involved in a gambling scheme.
What schools?
So the schools are Eastern Michigan, Temple, Arizona State, New Orleans. This is a school. North Carolina A&T and Mississippi State or Mississippi Valley State. They're all under investigation. They said that there's like they were betting on their own games. Like
were these separate instances, or were these all these people are connected doing?
I think it's just they're just
separate.
Yeah, separate. There's no way.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe.
But it's just,
I doubt it. Temple, Arizona State, and there's no way.
But it just keeps.
I told that's the thing, bro. We all knew this was going to happen. This is bound to happen. You bring gambling into sports,
especially the young. You can't even say younger too, because like look what we're saying in the NBA. It's not even about
why. But why would they do that? Would you think it's more so like
money?
They're addicted to gambling, but you get NIL money, like
but not some of those places. Those names,
you're
not as much. Not as much.
Yeah, but still though, bro, like.
And the other thing though that happened,
like be addicted.
Yes, but then the other things that happen when you watch some of those documentaries, like Netflix had one on gambling.
I saw that a while ago.
Sometimes you get into bad situations, then you owe money, and then the only way you can pay the money off is by
winning
or losing, whatever. Like winning a bet for somebody. So saying I'm going to hit the under on whatever my bet is, or I'm going to help the team lose today, but.
It's one of those things, bro. If it's going to happen, this is just going to be a part of the norm. Like, there's going to be some years where it's going to be more cases than others, but like, I think this is just going to be something that is going to get swept under the rug until it comes to the forefront where you can't ignore it anymore. Because this is just the start, and they legalized gambling maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Like, this is bound to happen. I'm surprised it hasn't happened even more than this. Like it
Yeah.
should be something that who knows? Like it's still. I'm sure there's going to be a sports scandal across one of the major sports, especially in the U.S. that is going to get rocked by gambling. I bet you it's going to be baseball. What was Shohei caught up with not too long ago? Him and his interpreter and the whole like bro. There's going to be instances where guys on huge stupid contracts are going to have people in their circle who are going to find a way to benefit off some of this. That's human nature.
I mean, yeah, the college basketball betting thing, that stuff's crazy too, because they're like, they want to take out prop bets for college athletes because it's just too risky.
It's too incentivizing for the players.
The players to do it. NBA is a little different in pro sports because they're making a little bit more money. But the Shohei thing is insane. I don't know if you saw, there was the guy that was taking the guy's bets. So
they're taking the translator's bet.
Yeah. Did you see him talking? He was talking about it, and he was saying, he was just like, he almost was saying he doesn't understand how Shohei would not have known because there was so much money being gambled. He's like
that anybody would notice that amount.
Well,
how much do you know how much it was?
It was a lot. I mean, they think he lost like $50 million.
Oh yeah.
And so
you would notice that easily.
Yeah, and in the basically the guy would pay up every time he lose the bet. So the guy was like, I'm going to keep taking his bets. This guy's a terrible gambler, and he just keeps losing money. He's wire transferring me, $4 million, $2 million, whatever the bets were at a time, and just losing. It's just hard for me to believe. And I know Shohei's made a lot of money, but like, that's insane.
What has he made a lot of money?
I mean,
he's made. Don't get me wrong, $50 million. If they're in the range of you're losing $50 million, Shohei, he signed to a crazy contract, but he's really on like the first year of that, and he's not going to get. He doesn't even have all that money yet. And I know he has endorsements and everything, but like to pull that amount, that's.
Yeah, annually. So annually, his contract is $70 million a year. But that, like you said, it just started.
Like you would see that. That's. He wouldn't even have. And if he did, he would definitely have to know, bro, because you just got 70 mil, 140. Like you would. Okay. You're seeing.
Let me retract that. So it wasn't 50 million. It was over 16 million stealing from
16
from his own massive gambling debt.
Millions, or you're going to notice that regardless.
Yeah.
You're getting paid a lot.
No, 15's a little high, but yeah, for sure. Man, but that's why there's always all these things saying, "Oh, Shohei knew about it. Was Shohei in on this?" Like,
but he's the face of baseball. So what are you going to do?
Well, and that's the thing too is you think
you can't. Well, you need
him. The MLB's trying to not get him in trouble. Yeah, they're not trying to get him in trouble.
That I mean, hey, totally understandable. You can't gamble on the games. What are you going to do? Well, you're your biggest star of the sport in the last 20 years.
But you're allowed to bet on any other sport. Like, so I don't get why.
For sure.
You can bet on football. Like you could have bet on football games when you're in the NBA. You can bet on baseball games. But I understand the controlling of it. But if it's I don't know. They were losing every bet. So whatever he was doing was not working because he lost $16 million.
Because like I know when I was playing, and I know gambling is not legal out here in Florida, but when we used to get the little Hard Rock Cafe app, whatever it was, it was another one too. I think it might have been like
the Hard Rock's the one in Florida.
That works. Yeah, but there's a different app. I think it was like FanDuel or not FanDuel. It was something. But I downloaded it and it told me to put my social in. I put my social in and it told me because of my profession, I can't have this app, and it wouldn't even work.
Said that?
It said that. So I was like, so
NBA.
Yeah, I think it was DraftKings. I think it was like DraftKings, man. It was like, it made me put my social in, and I was like, oh, okay. So, but for my wife too, she couldn't download the app either. So I was just like, all right, so how then if companies are taking the stance like, all right, we got to do something like this at least to cover our end, then that means as a player or person making a bet, you're going out of your way to figure this out.
Yeah. I mean, that's smart. That's smart on those like companies though, because they don't want any.
You have to.
They don't want blowback. Like they're already making so much money off people gambling. That's like.
But that's why it's always the second or third party from whoever the athlete is that's probably doing it, and you just got to remain deniability because
Yeah, and that's what
practicing that damn, you're done.
Yeah, and that's what the that's what the like ESPN article was saying about those college kids. That it's like, these third parties are under investigation, and it's
easy.
just
The boosters. I'll bring the boosters. Lock them up.
The boosters. The other thing you sent me that was kind of interesting was, the Dennis Schroder thing.
The Dennis Schroder? Should he be a Hall of Famer?
Well, after leading Germany to Eurobasket title, which in Europe, Eurobasket is, it's massive. People don't understand because you'll talk to some casual fans in the United States and oh, why is Luka? Why are these guys playing in the Eurobasket? But it's such a big deal in Europe to these players, these countries. You grow up just wanting to play in that. Where in the USA, we don't even send NBA players to play in the time right now. I think the USA team lost a couple days ago, or
those are different. It was the overseas pros that come back and play.
They come back. Yeah, it's such a different concept of what the Eurobasket means to those countries,
to them,
to them, and to us. Because Giannis is playing, Jokic is playing, Luka is playing. The best basketball players in the world are playing, and then you got Dennis Schroder that wins it.
Yeah,
they're talking about Hall of Famers, but
what do you think?
I don't know.
I looked at his numbers, and I checked to see how many international basketball players made it to the Hall of Fame without either being in the NBA or having no accolades in the NBA. And there was I think maybe 4 or 5, but guys that you've never heard of. But when you look at the stuff that they accomplished, it was all similar to Dennis Schroder, and it's Ricky Rubio, FIBA World Cup, bronze medal, gold medal, whatever it may be. But they just played so long for their international team that they just rack up accolades. That it's going to hold weight. And it's hard because I feel a lot of if you're a casual NBA basketball fan, you're not going to really know everything that Europe has to offer in EuroLeague and all the big time players over there. So I think people will overlook it, but Dennis has a case. But
I don't know. The first person I look up is Arvydas Sabonis. Arvydas Sabonis was unbelievable in EuroLeague. In the NBA, he averaged 12.7 rebounds, 2 assists. Arvydas Sabonis
is a god overseas in Lithuania.
Exactly. Arvydas Sabonis is a Hall of Famer. He's FIBA World Cup champion, FIBA European League champion, 3-time champion of the USSR, Spanish Cup winner. This guy's done so much things. The list goes on and on. Mr. Euro Player of the Year. It's just endless. It's just endless. I could keep going. But his NBA career wasn't. He was good for the Blazers. Don't get me wrong, but 12.7 rebounds. That's not crazy numbers. But he's a Hall of Famer, and there's a lot of guys like that. Like you said, you wouldn't know.
I think the NBA.
I think there's a case. I think there's a case for him, but it's just, I don't know.
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
I think there's a case, but I think it's a different time now too than it was back then, where it was there's so much social media. We watch so much more games.
Let me pull up.
Because you go based let's say back in the 80s, 90s, you're going more based off just articles, stats. You're not seeing these games highlights.
No. It's harder because it's the time difference. You're not really up. And it's easier for us because we know guys that play over there, so we keep up with it way more. For sure. I know there's a ton of guys that should be playing in the NBA, but choose to play overseas because it's just a better situation. So that doesn't necessarily, for me, take away from the talent-wise, saying, "Oh, just because they're doing it over here doesn't mean they can't do it over there." It's not. That's not something I take into concept. So for me, I think you have to change the game. You have to create. There has to be. You have to. What's the guy? There was a guard. Schnopoulos, whatever his name is. What's his name? I forgot. He was a play.
Are you talking about the guy that would pass like crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had a play. I forgot.
Milos Teledosopis or something. Was that who you're talking about? Did he play in the NBA for like 1 year?
Screen, yes, but he brought a style of, I think it was it a screen or was it a play or something that he did that we started the Spinulus, something Spinulus. I can't remember the last name, but it's like something called like Spinulus screen, which is like kind of like a clapback screen. But he was so famous for that in overseas that he brought that here and it kind of changed the way that everybody played ball and everybody kind of incorporated to their systems, and it's like a well-known like basketball play now. So when I think of that, that's the type of stuff that makes me think like, how did you affect the game based off of your career? And I don't know, man. Dennis Schroder is good, but
yeah,
who knows? He has a lot of time. He's still young. I mean, it's not to say he couldn't get in there, but I just don't think it will be for anything NBA wise.
Okay, and then we personally, like, I played AAU with Mike James for a little bit. You know Mike James, he's a Portland guy. And then you got someone like Mike James, who's the all-time leading scorer in EuroLeague history.
Yeah.
Like, in history of EuroLeague.
That's
and
amazing.
We're talking about guys that, like Arvydas Sabonis, other guys that are in the Hall of Fame that did most of their career in EuroLeague. Yeah, and then there's like the argument, like there might be. I'm not necessarily saying Mike James is a Hall of Fame basketball player, but like there's that argument too, where you're like, okay, well he's done some unreal things in EuroLeague. Like he's like one of the greatest players to ever play in Europe.
If you guys don't know who Mike James is, he is a guard. Well, it's like a combo guard.
Yep. He went to Northern Arizona Community College. Or Eastern Arizona or Northern Arizona? No, Eastern Arizona. He went to Eastern Arizona Community College and then went to Lamar. Lamar University, dropped 50 in a college game. Like he's always been a scorer. I mean, I played AAU with him. I'd see him just drop buckets all the time on people.
He also played in the NBA for a little bit. If you guys, it's probably one of his biggest highlights in the NBA is when he was playing with Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant with the Nets, and they had that play where they stole the ball and he throws it off the backboard to Kevin Durant and he dunks it. We're talking about the guy who throws a lob. Amazing scorer, man.
I mean, you type his name in on Twitter or X. I mean, you'll see some crazy clips, floaters, step back threes. I mean, the guy's just a professional.
He do everything,
and he's a small build. Like he's just
he could have very well been in the league and played for a long time, but it was his personal choice. I was like, the overseas ball is just a better fit for me and what I do.
And he's getting paid well.
And he's getting paid great over there. So it's like I get it. It's all situational. So I mean it's possible to make the league or to make the Hall without going to the league, but it's probably a lot easier to make the Hall of Fame just by only playing in the league.
And you know what's funny is that it's probably harder to make the Hall of Fame being an American and going to Europe than being probably someone that's stable in Europe, even though Mike James is one of the all-time greats. Yeah. It's probably even harder to do that because of just the way that people look at it. What
I mean, for sure.
It's funny because I had the opportunity to play overseas. European teammates are interesting. Do you have like I know we talked a little bit about like the Bargnani, but you played with like Linus Kaleza. Was there was there some difference? I feel like they kind of have some no nonsense BS and they'll say some crazy stuff. Like, did you ever deal with that with some of those European players that would just kind of shock you?
The Serbian players, Croatian, the former Yugoslavian players are crazy. But it's just funny. They're funny as hell because they get worked up. They're so competitive, and it's crazy because my wife, she's Yugoslavian, so it's like I have a better understanding of just like why they are the way they are. But yeah, bro, Vooch, I mean, he used to get so mad, he would cuss at everything, like especially in his language, like yebeti mate, pichkati mate, like every call, any bad call, bro. He would be saying the wildest things to the ref in his language, and it would always just go over the ref's head. But like when I go back and ask my wife, like, what does this mean? And she's like, what? Where did you hear that from? I'm like, Vooch was saying it to the ref. Like, she's like, oh, that just means like, oh, go fuck your mother, and I hope she did it. I'm just like, dog. There's no way you guys could be talking like this all the time. But the Yugoslavian players are by far the craziest, bro. They're competitive. I don't know if I have any crazy stories.
What about Kaleza? What about towards coaches and stuff? I mean, I know they can be standoffish towards coaches or like upset with,
That's
not
everybody.
playing. Yeah,
Bro,
no, I know. For
that's
sure.
everybody, bro. It's
just
so hard to like when I try to think about stories from like my time playing. There's so many things that happen that just seem normal to me, but when I repeat them to like somebody else, they're like, "What the hell?" Like they're so intrigued by it. But I don't know, man. It was just it's a grown man's league. People are crazy.
well,
It
now
was
it's
like,
super diverse now. I mean, like with the European players
well,
and just
they're taking over.
different, different cultures.
Here's my spiel. AU basketball is ruining American basketball. I swear to God, it is, bro. That's why all the Euros are going crazy right now. All the best players in the NBA are pretty much from overseas, man. There's a huge population. Like it's all the Yugoslavian players. Freaking, I don't want to say Shea's from overseas, but Shea, he's not American. But I mean, Giannis. I mean, it's the game is changing, bro.
Yeah. What do you? I mean, I got my thoughts on that. Like, why do you think the AAU is ruining it? Do you think? I mean, there's the theory that now it's just so many games and not skill development. Before it was like, even when we were younger, I mean, we played a decent amount of games, but it's like there's games all the time now. Like instead, that's what I'm saying is like, I mean, I work with athletes and I see it. We used to put a lot of time we practiced a lot and it made the games more valuable and like more, you just more excited for the games where now it's like they're playing 4 or 5 games a weekend, every weekend for like the whole year. It's just not like,
it's bad. I think it's honestly, it's like the culture of what basketball has become with social media and everybody putting their journey, online. People get very caught up into that and it makes everybody feel like they're just their own little my player in 2K and that they're just in some journey to the NBA. So I think people can lose focus of what really matters. And right now, I just feel like, especially in AU, kids aren't being taught how to play the game. Yeah, you can teach them how to do dribble moves. You can teach them how to do, step backs and pull ups. But like that doesn't really matter if you don't know the X's and O's of the game. And I think the biggest thing that's missing from today's game is just teaching kids how to play, especially without the ball.
Spacing,
moving, cutting, playing off of
understanding, but also like you said, like understanding like what I'm doing. You could tell someone to be in that spot, but it's like, do they understand why they're in there?
Why they're doing it? Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing that's missing in translation, and that's the biggest difference too. When you go to Europe, those kids are working on the game. They're working on the IQ part, the X's and O's. They're learning how to cut, how to do, how to read different defenses, how to play off the ball, different actions. Here, it just feels like everybody has their personal trainer. They want to get to their bag and they want to do all the bag work, and then they go out into the games and try to replicate that, not understanding spacing, timing, and just what the basketball game is, and it's showing, bro. It's showing, and it's insane. I don't know why we've gotten away from that so much, but I think at some point, especially, it's going to really start to hit home when like the Olympics come around and we start to see a change in like, oh, America's not winning every gold medal now. Like it's already close, and they had to bring out LeBron James.
It's getting close. I get that, but the top players,
it's the top players, but they're the top players now. When we put Ant and all the young boys out there, Jason and all them young boys out there, not this past Olympics, the one before that, they couldn't get the job done. They had to call on Kevin, LeBron, and Steph for them to lead these young guys. And even with that, they barely pulled that one off. Yeah. So they probably won't be around for the next Olympics. Who do we pass the torch to? Who's going to be those? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even the NBA, there's nobody that's taking the reins. Like, Shea had a great year, but the year before that, so did Jokic. And the year before that, so did Giannis. And it's just like it changes all the time. Who's going to be, especially for America, who's going to be the American player to advance the game forward? Like, it doesn't feel like we have that right now. We have a lot of, potential candidates, especially with this younger class coming out into the league. And then you still have Ant and Jason Tatum and those guys, but we'll see, man. It's just, I think once that starts to hit and we start to understand the gravity of like what it takes to win gold medals and what it took to get basketball this far, especially on the American side, I think we'll start to value that as we start to lose grip of it. So who knows?
I would say to go back to your point, I think I think those kids are playing like it's considered professional basketball a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Where
15 and stuff.
I think the problem is that high school coaches are not good anymore, or just not. They just like want to be friends with the players. They're younger guys. Where you get to college, and now college, you still have a bunch of old school coaches. There's still a lot of fundamental basketball that's coached in college. So there's that eye opener for these kids that go from high school to college. You're like, oh shoot, like I got to know what I'm doing on the court, or I'm not going to play. And
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. And so what I'm saying is that like in high school, the European players is like it's like their college. You know what I mean? Like
already.
They're already playing that professional level where college is kind of a step.
Too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like college is that step below professional, where you know, instead of like 16 years old in Europe, you're playing at that college level /
already,
you know, into that pro level, semi-pro level already. Where in United States, like you said, it's like you're 16, you're playing high school, you're just doing a bunch of BS. You're going triple between the legs, like, and then you get on the college court, and it's like, okay, we're running plays, we're running sets. You're gonna have to listen to what we're doing, like. And then with NIL and all that stuff, now you're getting with college kids that are going to be in college for 4 or 5 years. So now you're dealing with like 24-year-old, 25-year-olds, which I think is going to continue to build a good, you know, product for college basketball because there's going to be a lot of good players that are going to still be there.
They're going to be around.
But yeah, the high school part and like the social media, I mean,
it's bad, bro. Think about like the Mikey Williams and the.
Well, I was just gonna say that because Mikey Williams, because I call the games for Idaho. They play Sac State. Sac State's in that conference. So this year I'll be able to call Mikey Williams games. But that's a prime example. It's like someone that
firsthand, like, we always heard about the hype around Mikey,
and you saw the highlights.
Do that. You saw the highlights. He's 6'2" and he's doing all this crazy stuff. But like, I already knew if you're 6'2" and doing all this crazy stuff, you better be. If you're not Ja Morant, you're not going to make it. And Mikey was amazing, but like doing it against high school kids is different from doing it versus college kids. And it's twice as different as doing it against like the actual men that play this game. And I think that goes back to what you said in Europe. Like everybody, they have team clubs. The team clubs are like really your only primary source of basketball. It's not like you have high schools and club. Like you have your team and your
secondary school and stuff, all that.
And so you go to that, you go to your club, and then you can get moved up and down the ranks, right? It's not like, oh, you're 16, you're playing 16, you're 17, you're playing. It's like, no, if you're good enough, you will play in this level. And if we think you have what it takes, you'll keep moving up. And I think with that, it also helps the kids mature and it takes their game to the next level. Like, what's the Finnish kid from
he looks
Finland that did that?
He looks
bro,
unbelievable.
You could tell the way he was playing. He was doing two things very well: catching and shooting, and playing off the dribble and running the lanes. Like. The kids nowadays don't know how valuable that is.
Well,
like,
I think it goes back. I mean, what you're saying is like you understand your role. You understand roles, like what your role is and what your is on this team. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't aspire to be
for sure.
Yeah, and be like the best player. But like you said, if you're 16, you're good. You're going to play with these 19, 20-year-olds at that age. And then now you understand, okay, I got to space the court. I got to do the right things or I'm not going to be on the court. Now, if you want to play, you're going to do the right things. And then it starts to build because then you start to add on to it. You start to get better. And now you move into that role of, okay, I'm the best scorer. I'm the leading scorer. I'm doing these things. But yeah, that kid's unbelievable. I don't know his name. It's something like marketing, but it's
just put up the Finnish kid dunking.
If you go Eurobasket Finnish, I mean Lord Markin is destroying too.
He's like 17. He's like 16, 17, 18. He's like young.
18, yeah. They say he's like a high schooler.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. But that goes back to what I was about to ask. Since you work with a lot of college kids, like what's the one thing you notice about all the college kids? Like the thing that is most common where they is like, okay, once they learn how to do that, not even learn how to do this, but what's the one thing that's common between each athlete that's like missing?
That's missing.
That's like, is it like a mental thing? Like, cause you know, it's like the American kids, they know how to play, they know how to do all the moves and stuff, but like, applying the moves into situational game time reps is like completely different. Like you don't. It's not. It's like you gotta know. More,
I think it's more. I don't know if it's not like you said. You work. You can work on so much stuff, and you can be good at that stuff. But it's like implementing and understanding what you're doing in the game, in the spacing of it. Like I work with a lot of good kids that are really level-headed. So that's a good thing. It's like a lot of level-headed kids that understand that. Like they understand like where they're going in college. It's not like, oh, I need to be the best or I'm leaving here. It's like, they sit a year or whatever, or learn behind this. So they have their head on straight with that aspect of it. But then it's also like, talking to them once you see them play, actually like, hey, you see this, what you're doing here. Like you need to understand everything's like, it's just like kind of like it's so hard
to get the carryover from the practice to the game. Well, and see, like this drill that we're working on, this is where you're going to see it in the game, and this is when you should expect it or how you should react to it. Because I feel like most people just
the thing is like I would say is like it's so hard to emulate a lot of that. I feel like I was lucky growing up because I would go to these open gyms with like Ime Udoka, the coach of the Rockets, Aaron Miles. We'd go play open gym at University of Portland State. And these guys would tell us, like, they would literally but then they'd also like literally like Ime Udoka would get mad if you didn't run the floor. They'd be like, "What are you doing, Potsi? Like, run the floor. Like, get to the corner. When we get the ball, we get out and run." And then it's like, why aren't you going to get an offensive rebound? But they just replicate it. Like, okay, then we're doing DHOs, like you said, we're doing dribble handoffs, and it's just like understanding what we're doing. And getting those live reps with professional players when I was like in college or high school, it just put me so much more ahead of understanding of what was going on.
You're locked into what you're learning and like, oh, this is what we're doing. Like, this is how it works.
Then you go back to like, okay, then I go back to college or I go back to University of Idaho or I go do this. Like I already know all the main stuff. So this stuff is like really easy to comprehend for me. And I'm not like in a rush in my mind mentally. Cause I feel like that's what happens is kids get so sped up in their mind.
Yes.
Because
that's the big thing. They're running at 100 miles.
I would say that's like the most common goal or most common thing I see is like the kids get so sped up in their mind because they're thinking of so much stuff where it's like the good players, it's all slow to them. Like, you're still moving fast. You're still moving fast, but you're seeing it slow. Like I'm a lot older now. I can just walk around.
About college basketball though is the pacing is so much different from the pro game. They have so much more time, but like everything they do, they're just running as fast as they can.
Well, I mean, and that's the old school. That's old school coaching. Is like go run a screen 100 miles an hour. Like we're running from drill to drill. We're doing all that. Like I'm just like, all right.
And and now like you can't play that. That was the biggest thing I had to learn, is because I felt like I just had to hustle to everything, and it's just like, you have to hustle, but there's ways to do it. Like you want to take your time. Like, oh, a pin down's coming. Don't like try to run to the pin down, try to get there before your man does. Like, take your time, let the pin down come to you, set your man up, get into his chest, push off, and then go off the screen. And then everything flows much more efficiently. I feel like in college, guys are running so fast off a screen that like sometimes the ball handler isn't ready to make that pass, and then it's like he's out of position, it throws the next guy out of position, and it's just a domino effect. And it's just like so hard. And I feel like the especially overseas, those guys know how to run sets, take time, set things up, run it, and then play out of it.
You look at the overseas players. None of them seem right. I mean, Luka and Jokic are like two of the
not fast at all.
Well, nothing moves fast, but they get it done. Like it's just they process because they're processing.
Gotta go at your own pace, and that's the thing. Like Luka's not fast, but he knows how to get you out of position, and he plays off that. And now it's like you can't get on rhythm with him, and you're just out of positioning, and he just takes off. And I feel like that's what the difference is with most of these European players. Man, they just know how to fucking play and play off of everything. So
well, last thing. A lot of people were commenting on our last post about the fight on the plane.
Everybody's wrong. I didn't see one right answer.
There's like a mix and match of it. But it's just funny because everyone's like, go look back at the tapes, go look at the logs, go look at all this stuff.
They're trying to crack the case. So hard. A lot of Cole Anthony and RJ.
A lot of Cole. Why so much Cole Anthony? Why so much Cole Anthony?
Everybody knows Cole he's a personality, bro. You ever see his post game like interviews? Like the dude he's a live wire. And so I can guarantee you that everybody just automatically from what they see on the outside. But no, you guys will probably never get this. Maybe one day I'll tell you. Maybe one day, but that day isn't today. But
it's
yeah,
a good
bro.
keep guessing, and we'll keep going with that.
We'll drop a little more hints, and maybe I'll drop some more crazy stories. We should come up with a segment where I just come back with throwback stories.
Yeah,
We'll write some down.
I'll some out of you, and then we'll get rolling.
Yeah, we'll get some. All right, brother.
Catch you later.